you to do is practice to kind of get all your content ready before you launch it. Any questions so far? Good? Yeah? A very important thing also is your launch date. Of course, you must follow America's clock. And if you launch something that is not, because they refresh every 12 a.m. So whenever your product goes out, it's fresh at that time. So you want to schedule it at this time when you can actually submit. Cool. All right, so that's more on the submission side. And the form will be very detailed and you just follow basically, okay? But still create your account and still be active for these 3 to 5 days. Okay, so now we will, let me see how much time I have. Okay, so we have the pitch now, which is 2 minutes. So I assume you only have 5 slides to talk, because maybe all 3, because it's 3 of you, 3 to 5, right? Probably each of you just talk like 30 seconds.
But it needs to be simple.
Right? It's super short and fast. So basically what you really want to focus on in your pitch is again, focus on the savings and the pain. Just to refresh, this is not a tool just because it's AI, but it's really solving a real problem. Maybe you can say that it's solving our team's personal problem, or our community's personal problem. Have some evidence here, it'll be very helpful. So if you have news articles, let's say if your product is a hospital or like a medtech product, right? Maybe you have an article saying, oh, operations take very slow. Surgery is, it takes too slow until like this person becomes sick or something like that. So you have some sort of proof that this problem exists. So that would be a very strong talking point about the validation of your idea. So it just doesn't come from your heart, but it comes from your heart and also the community. So talk about this, probably in 1 slide, very clear. I think a sample of like how it could look like is like this. It's just straight up, not a lot of text. Just one picture and one picture.
Looks a lot better.
So that should be, actually I'm using that same kind of format here, where you can see there's like, oh, it's just an image and then a text, image and text. Try not to put too many texts on the slide, because again, you don't have much time and the judges cannot read. It's too fast. And then number 2, make AI clearly necessary, not an option. So part of the judging criteria is that, I know you use AI to create this product. Yes, everyone is doing that also. But let's say your product has an AI feature that your users can use, and it makes sense that it has to be AI. Like, sometimes as a user, I look at this AI feature and I'm thinking, you know what, I'll just use Google Sheet. Like, this is too much. So making sure that that particular AI feature serves its purpose and you really understand what the users are really needing, rather than just providing an AI solution that doesn't really fix their current flow. So the third one is showing the wedge use case. That means, again, just to highlight yesterday, just show your power feature that makes a difference, not everything. And then, yeah, because if you have specific features, that means you have faster traction, or basically you know if it works or not, and then you have a clearer product market fit. So product market fit means does your product fit the market? That's quite literal, right? Whether they will actually pay for your services or not. So that is the validation that we want to see, whether, let's say your clients like hospitals or anyone will actually pay for you to survive, because we all need money to survive in a way. And then number 4, highlight success case studies. I know you maybe not have time for this, but if you think you have a very strong case study like out there, then you can include this. But again, this is just for a note for the future, right? So in this slide, kind of focus on these three. This is more of like in the future when you're pitching to investors if you want money. But again, don't raise so much in the beginning because you answer to a lot of stakeholders and that's not nice. And then number 5 is address mode. We'll do an exercise later, so I'll go around and just pick people up, and then you can kind of give me a one-liner of like what your slide can be like. Okay, so number 5 is address the moat. Don't lie. A moat means, you know, like there's a castle usually. Like the moat comes from a castle, and then a moat is like a river around the castle with crocodiles inside. So basically it's a form of protection so that the enemy cannot come and invade your castle. So that's kind of the concept of the moat. So for your particular product, if you can prove that your idea can survive for the next 5 years, like survive competitors, survive from AI advancing. But again, this one is quite hard to kind of predict. But the thing is, if you have a very strong proposition that cannot be fought, that would be the winning idea. So, but again, it's quite tricky nowadays because everything can be fought in the digital world compared to like physical products. So, yeah, this is something very tricky that if you are in this product for a long time, then you will kind of realize over time what it is. And then, so if you have it now for this competition, that'd be great. Number 6, be transparent about cost structure as you scale. So this one is actually very important also because they want to know whether your idea is feasible and whether it is realistic. So it's not just something that have 20 features and then it takes like 20 years to make. That sounds like a AAA game. But be transparent about the cost structures and show them like how you're going to optimize and use your money in the future. Even though this is a fake product, like currently just a beta project in the beginning, you can always try to plan and see if you can include this. So this is part of the judging criteria also, just seeing how you can plan for the future. And yeah, address competition. So this is a very humbling slide where you look at the other people. So as the judge see this, they don't need to ask the question, did you look at X product? They're doing the same thing. So you want to avoid the judges from asking this question. So when you have this slide, it will show that I have already done my research and these competitors are already good here. But we are different because we are good here. So this one is to answer the judges' questions on the back of their head. And then here, end with a clear ask and team intro. So usually at every single pitch, you will show your team and say like, I'm the CTO or like I'm the CFO or whatever, founder, and we are very right for this team because we are so passionate personally for this particular idea. So end with a clear ask. For example, like, hey, in the future, pretend you're pitching to investors. We just need maybe 300,000 rupiah, for example, for this couple of years. And then that will help us be sustainable. And then probably in the next 2 years we'll be profitable, and then your return on investments will be returned. So understanding this, how I calculate it also, it really varies because of the type of people you have in the team as well. You can calculate it by the amount of time that you spent on a project. Let's say I'm a person that's $15 per hour, for example. So it takes 15 times 20 days per month, and then times 12 a year, so you get a yearly salary. So that's probably how much you need to sustain your team for one person. So let's say you have 3 people, then you just kind of total it up, and then that becomes your cost for just headcount, and then your operational costs and stuff like that. So again, for this pitch in particular, you only have 2 minutes, so you can always do like a very summarized version of it, like ops costs, headcount costs, and blah, 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 and then this is what we need. Marketing costs, and then this is how much we need. So that shows like the business side of your brain. Yeah, so is there any questions so far about like the type of content that you can put in your pitch? Okay, so basically we're gonna do an activity now. Oh no, yeah, okay, we can only do one because I only have 13 minutes left. So pick one of the topic right now in your team and create one slide, and then in 7 minutes, in 7 minutes, I will go around and then I'll just put the mic to you, and then you can tell me which part of the slide that you have created, and maybe like a one-liner of that content in that slide, or like maybe what you plan to put in that slide. Okay? Cool.
I don't understand too.
Feel free to take one or two, and then for now, I just take one because we don't have enough time, but if you have enough resources in your team to do 2 topics at once, then that will
we
get you
need to pick one of those.
how to think about your pitch. Okay? So, I'll give you until 8:55 for this particular exercise, and then I'll go around, or 8:56. Okay? Cool. I'll come back in a bit. Any questions, just raise your hand.
I do not know.
I think what it comes.
Oh yes, you got a question. Oh, you're scratching your head? Okay, I got you. Alright, cool. Okay, try. Yeah, one slide, but I mean, if you have one, you can pick any number. But if you want to do 2, up to you.
What are we supposed to do with that?
Yeah. So the question is, let's say if you want to keep your product as like a no spoiler, you can just use a random product that's already existing and just try the exercise with that random product. Yeah, it's up to you.